2.2. Sunil Prabhuji, will you recite after me? Unmute yourself. Where is Mataji today?
Mataji has gone to her peer. She should join. So she's at Surat.
You should not call her Mataji.
Yeah. I started reciting the same thing, Prabhuji.
You should not call her Mataji. She's our Mataji, not yours. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha
Kutastva Kashmalam Midam
Kutastha Vikashnam
Kutastva Kashmalam Midam
Kutastha Tva Kashmalam Idam
Vishme Samupastitam
Vishme Samupastitam
Anarya Jushtam Asvargayam
Anarya Jistam Asvargyam
Akirti Karamarjuna
Akirti Karam Arjuna
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha
Kutastva Kashmalam Midam
Kutastva Kasmalam Midam
Vishme Samupastitam
Visme Samupastitam
Anarya Jushtam Asvargayam
Anaryajistam Asvargyam
Akirti Karamarjuna
Akirti Karam Arjuna
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha
Kutastva Kashmalam Midam
Kutastva Kasmala Idam
Vishme Samupastitam
Visme Samapastitam
Naryajishtam Asvargayam
Anaryajistam Asvargyam
Akirti Karamarjuna.
Akirti Karam Arjuna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Kutaha, wherefrom, for unto you, Kashmalam, dirtiness, idam, this lamentation, which may, in this hour of crisis, Samupastitam, arrived, Anarya, persons who do not know the value of life, Jushtam, practiced by Asvargayam, which does not lead to higher planets, Akirti, infamy, Karam, the cause of Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. Please repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities, everybody is not speaking, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infinity. Purport. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is the ultimate in absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, or the impersonal or pervasive spirit, Paramatma, or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this conception of absolute truth is explained thus. Vadanti tat-tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti pramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the knower of absolute truth. And all of them are identical. Such phases of absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of sun, which also has three different aspects, namely sunshine, sun surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun surface is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of absolute truth. Student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, which is compared to knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the absolute truth. And student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal feature of the Supreme Absolute. Therefore, the Bhaktas or the transcendentalists who have realized Bhagavan feature of the Absolute Truth are the topmost transcendentalists. Although all students who are engaged in the study of the Absolute Truth are engaged in the same subject matter. Sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another. And yet, the students of three different phases are not in the same category. So let's first try to understand this. It's a little technical. So Sanjaya is addressing Krishna as Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. When he addresses Dhritarashtra, he says Dhritarashtra Uvacha. When he addresses Duryodhan, he says Duryodhan Uvacha. But when he addresses Krishna, he says what? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of God said. Now, Prabhupada is explaining through a verse from Bhagavatam. Vadanti tat-tattvavidas tattvam yajnana advaya. That there are different people whose understanding about the supreme truth is different. Some people call the supreme truth as Nirakar, formless. Correct? Have you heard about this? कुछ लोग बोलते हैं भगवान निराकार है, उनका कोई आकार नहीं है. He is all pervasive. He is spread everywhere. He is unlimited. Have you heard about this? Some people call the Supreme as भगवान तो कण कण में विद्यमान है. कण कण में मतलब everywhere. He is everywhere. Like sunshine is everywhere. So this supreme truth is also everywhere. That is first understanding. Second understanding is some people say, "Oh भगवान तो आपके हृदय में है, परमात्मा के, उन पे ध्यान लगाओ." Correct? Yes or no? कुछ लोग बोलते हो आपको ध्यान लगाया करो, बस आपके अंदर ही भगवान है. बाहर कहाँ जाते, मंदिर में कहाँ जाते, वो टेम्पल, आपके अंदर ही भगवान. That is second aspect of the supreme truth. And third is Bhagavan. First one is called Brahman, second is called Paramatma, and third one is called Bhagavan. Bhagavan is basically the supreme truth who has a form, who has a body like us, who has two hands, who has eyes, who has nostrils, ears, neck, chest, legs, hands, like us. So this is the third aspect of realization of the Supreme Truth. Question is, who is right, who is wrong? कौन सही है, कौन गलत है? आपके हिसाब से कौन सही है, कौन गलत है? Who is right, who is wrong? Anyone? Anyone? Yes. Say something.
अलग अलग फेजेस में,
हाँ जी.
अलग अलग फेजेस में तीनों सही हैं, और जब आप हाईएस्ट लेवल ऑफ एनलाइटनमेंट पे पहुंच जाओ तो तीनों सही हैं.
तीनों सही हैं. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Priti Mata ji?
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing. All are correct.
All are
three
correct?
aspects are correct. Yeah.
Anyone else?
The first two is partially correct, and the third one is the absolute. जो पूरा डीप नॉलेज जो हो जाता है, जो डीप ज्ञान भगवान के रिस्पेक्ट में, फर्स्ट टू एस्पेक्ट्स
So
आर
all
पार्शियल.
three are understanding the same subject matter. Actually, all three are same person. Like somebody says, sun means what? Sun rays. Is he right or wrong? तो देखो कहता बाहर सूर्य निकला हुआ है. For example, I say from here, from a window, सूर्य निकला हुआ है. I can't see sun. I can see sun rays and say सूर्य निकला. So am I right or wrong? I can't see sun. I can see only rays and I say सूरज निकला हुआ है. देखो बाहर सूरज है. Are rays different from sun? Rays are coming from sun. Then I can say, okay, वो देखो सामने सूर्य नजर आता है. That disk. Is that the complete understanding? See the sun from here, you can see this round disk. Is that the complete understanding of sun? Why no? What is complete understanding of sun?
Knowing about its surface.
Sorry?
To understand its surface also.
To go inside the sun and see
Inside that, yeah.
you might find sun god sitting there. है ना, सूर्य देव बैठे हैं अंदर. So there are three phases or aspects of realization of sun in terms of the sun rays, which we can see, sun disk, which we can see, and inside the sun, like there is habitat on this surface of earth and this planet. There are people living in sun planet also, but we can't see from here. You have to go inside and study. The three phases of understanding of sun in terms of the sun rays, sun disk, and inside the sun or the sun god. Now, who has the highest understanding? One who says sun means sun rays, another one who says sun means sun disk, and third one who says sun means sun globe inside the sun. Who has highest understanding?
Inside the sun.
Inside, right? So one who has understood, who has studied the sun inside, he also has studied sun disk and sun rays automatically, right? So if you have understanding of what's happening inside sun, you also have understanding of sun surface, sun disk, and also understanding of sun rays automatically. But all three are one. All three are one. Yes or no? But one who says sun means sun rays, his understanding is correct but incomplete. One who says sun means sun disk, his understanding is correct but incomplete. One who says sun means sun god inside the sun, he has complete understanding. Similarly, Bhagavan or the supreme truth can be understood or realized in three aspects. One is called Brahman. Like sun rays are present everywhere, similarly, the Supreme Lord is present everywhere in the form of what is called Brahman. Like sun rays are the effulgence coming out of the sun, Brahman is the effulgence coming out of the body of Bhagavan, Krishna. Krishna is illuminating effulgence from his body, which is called Brahman. आपने कभी मूवीज में देखा होगा, कभी कभी मूवीज में दिखाते हैं भगवान को और भगवान के आसपास बहुत तेज लाइट दिखाते हैं, like you know, rays are illuminating or radiating from his body. Have you seen? Yeah? Have you seen? Similarly, Krishna is present in Golok Vrindavan, topmost planet, and from his body, huge effulgence coming out, which is called Brahman. And all the planets are situated in that Brahman feature. So one whose understanding is limited to only this Brahman feature, oh, Bhagwan har taraf hai, Bhagwan nirakar hai, he is right, but his understanding is not complete. ठीक है जी? आपको समझ नहीं आए तो please stop me there and ask me again. It's little technical but very, very important to understand. So this is effulgence coming out of the body of Krishna. It is called Brahman. ब्राह्मण वाला ब्राह्मण नहीं है, वो ब्राह्मण अलग होता है, ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय शूद्र. This is Brahman.
Guruji, is it Brahman or Brahmand?
No,
Brahman
It
is
is
different.
Okay.
it is Brahman.
Brahman. B-R-A,
Brahman.
Brahman. H-M-A-N.
Yeah.
And second, a little higher understanding is Krishna is present in everybody's heart as Paramatma. Higher understanding. which is also correct, but incomplete. That is not complete understanding about Bhagavan. So there's a difference between Paramatma and Bhagavan. Meenal Mata, you are confused or you're able to follow? You're holding your head like this. I was wondering what she was. You're able to follow? Unmute karo.
Not able to hear you.
You able to follow?
I think there is some issue with my end.
Can't hear you.
Just a minute.
Are you able to follow? Okay, so I need to check because it is little tricky. Not tricky. पहली बार सुन रहे हैं तो थोड़ा सा अजीब लगेगा. So second realization is of the Paramatma feature. Paramatma is inside all of you. So Krishna is present inside all of you as Paramatma. English it is called super soul. हमारी आत्मा को बोलते हैं सोल एंड परमात्मा को बोलते हैं सुपर सोल. Okay. So Krishna present in the form of effulgence everywhere is called Brahman. Krishna present inside everybody's heart is called Paramatma. And Krishna as Krishna in two-handed form carrying a flute with a more punk is Bhagavan, is the original Bhagavan. He might look like a tiny cowherd boy grazing cows in the field. How can he be Bhagavan? One who is born in Vrindavan, Mathura, how can he be Bhagavan? Anyone may get bewildered by seeing picture of Krishna who is running after here and there, breaking the pots of butter and playing with his tiny cowherd boys. How can he be Bhagavan? Anyone can get bewildered. Yes or no? Once what happened? Brahmaji heard that there's a boy in Vrindavan who has killed a big demon, Rakshasa. He was wondering how can a small boy kill a demon? And somebody said he's Supreme Lord. So he wanted to check whether he's Supreme Lord or this boy is Supreme Lord or not. So Brahmaji also got bewildered. If Brahmaji can get bewildered, what to speak of ordinary person? Brahmaji came. He said, let me check whether he is Supreme Lord or not. So what he did, when he came, Krishna was sitting with his cowherd boys and having his lunch. And cows were, not cows, calves were grazing here and there in the surrounding areas. So Krishna for a moment went aside for something. In the meantime, Brahmaji stole all the cowherd boys, all the calves, and took them to Brahmalok and hid them in some cave. Okay? And when Krishna came back, he saw there's nobody. And Brahma is smiling. Let me see now how he proves that he is Supreme Lord. Brahma is thinking he's very smart. So by the time Brahmaji went to hid these calves and cowherd boys, and by the time he came back, almost 1 year passed. Why? The duration of higher planets, time duration, and our duration is very different. It's like our 12 hours are their 6 months. So their 12 hours are 6 months. So by the time Brahmaji went, hid and came back, he saw Krishna is again sitting with same set of cowherd boys and cows. He is wondering, मैं तो छुपा के आया ब्रह्मलोक में, ये वहाँ फिर से कैसे आ गए? This is called Brahma Vimoh Leela, in which when Brahmaji stole all the cowherd boys and calves, Krishna expanded himself as cowherd boys and calves. And when Brahmaji came, he was bewildered. मैं तो लेके गया था इनको भी, फिर से कहां से आ गए? And then he could see Krishna's original form. He came and begged sorry, apologized in front of Krishna. If Brahmaji cannot understand the Supreme Truth, sometimes gets bewildered, what to speak of ordinary people? How anybody can think, how can this tiny boy be the Supreme Lord, who is the creator of all the creation, who is the maintainer of all the creation, and who will destroy, annihilate all the creation after some time? Very bewildering. When Yashoda saw all entire universe in the mouth of Krishna, she was bewildered. मेरे बेटे को भूत लग गया है क्या? भूत घुस गया है क्या इसके अंदर? The entire universe is seen inside his mouth. She was bewildered for a moment. When Krishna lifted Govardhan, everybody was bewildered. How can a tiny 6-7-year boy, old boy, can pick up Govardhan on his tiny finger? This is bewildering. But Krishna is Bhagavan. That's why, understanding Krishna as he is not easy. It requires too much of faith, too much of understanding of Krishna Tattva or Bhagavan Tattva. But once you understand, then your faith will not deviate. Okay? So the highest realization of Supreme Truth is the realization of Krishna or the Bhagavan, original entity. Everything else is emanating from him. Paramatma is a part of Krishna. Expansion of expansion of expansion of expansion of expansion of Krishna. Tiny expansion of Krishna. And rays are coming out of the body of Krishna. This sun is illuminating by borrowing that Brahman little bit and illuminating like sun. The sun is illuminating due to the effulgence coming out of the body of Krishna. But the sun has no light of itself. Moon is illuminating because of borrowing some Brahman from Krishna. Okay. So the Supreme Truth can be realized in 3 aspects: Brahman, Paramatma, and third one is? Yes?
Bhagavan.
Bhagavan. Right. So if you have understood, please raise your hand, all of you. All have understood?
I am confused.
हाँ बोलो ना प्रभु जी, कहाँ confusion?
एक अगर ये तो पक्का है सबके अंदर आत्मा है, तो आपने कहा परमात्मा भी आपके अंदर है.
हाँ.
अगर परमात्मा अंदर है हमारे, तो भाई पीपल आर डूइंग क्राइम, उनको क्राइम करना नहीं चाहिए.
हाँ, very good.
परमात्मा अंदर है तो.
Good question. So Paramatma is playing what role inside, sitting inside us? अनुमंता. हाँ बताता हूँ, श्लोक निकाल के बताता हूँ आपको. Please open 13, chapter 23, number verse. 13.23.
Thirteen point
13.4,
13.23.
2, 3. Yes.
So this says, Let me share the screen and then read. You can see on the screen. Updrashta, overseer, means whatever the soul is doing, the super soul is observing everything. That is the first soul of Paramatma. Updrashta, overseer. Second is Anumanta, permitter, who finally sanctions. Yes, go ahead and do it. Soul may desire something, but final sanctioning authority is Paramatma. Bhokta, supreme enjoyer. Maha Ishwaras. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as a overseer, permitter, and who is known as super soul. Paramatmeti chapi ukto dehe asmin purusha para. Paramatmeti, he is present as Param Atma or Paramatma, the super soul. Okay. So, scriptures explain Atma and Paramatma. They are like two birds sitting on the same branch of a tree. Analogy. Okay. One bird is observing the other bird. The one which is observing is Paramatma. One who is busy eating the fruits of this tree is Atma. Okay. Till the time this bird is busy eating the fruits or involved in various karmas and karmic reactions, the story goes on. But the moment this bird turns his head towards another bird, which is Paramatma, his material existence is over. Okay. So the Paramatma is waiting कि मेरी तरफ कब देखेगा. पूरी दुनिया को देख रहा है. इधर व्यस्त है, उधर व्यस्त है, ये खाने में व्यस्त है, ये खाने में व्यस्त है, ये पहनने में व्यस्त है. मेरी तरफ कब देखेगा? So when will this living entity turn his attention towards the Lord as Paramatma, as super soul, as proprietor of everything, as enjoyer of everything? That time, living entity's material existence is over. So who is nearest to us is Supreme Lord, not any of our relatives. Who stays with us 24 hours? It is Paramatma. Who goes from one body to another body when we die? It is Paramatma. So till the time one is entangled in this material body, Paramatma always remains with us to guide the soul from within, provided soul is willing to listen. So Paramatma remains with Atma till the time living entity has any material body.
और प्रभु जी अभी तक तो हमें बताया गया था कि आत्मा जाती है कि कोई जब डेथ होती है किसी की तो आत्मा चली जाती है.
आत्मा जाती है लेकिन परमात्मा भी साथ में रहते हैं. जिस शरीर में जाती है वहां परमात्मा भी रहते हैं.
So, this means कि आत्मा और परमात्मा दोनों जाते हैं जब किसी की डेथ होती है तो.
हाँ, हर शरीर के अंदर परमात्मा विद्यमान है. Super soul is present in every living entity, whether human being or even other living entities.
But it does not clarify my doubt. अगर परमात्मा हर एक आदमी के अंदर है तो वो आदमी वो गुनाह क्यों करता है, क्राइम क्यों करता है?
Because every living entity has some independence, swatantrata. Like child is always under the control of parents, but child still has some independence. Yes or no? Can you put a gun on his shoulder and ask him to do everything you want? Can you? You cannot. But we always say, A child is always under the control of parents, but child also has some independence. If he misuses that independence, you can't help. तो बोले मेरे को दारू पीने का है, अब क्या कर सकते हो? पीने का तो पी, भुगतेगा तो समझेगा, जब लंग कैंसर होगा तब समझेगा, है ना? So Paramatma, when soul insists, I want to do this crime, I want to do this crime, Krishna will say in the form of, okay, do it. When you will suffer, you will realize yourself.
So Krishna will say, go to hell.
Krishna wants to give him experience of having committed something wrong, learning from that experience, and then saying, no, I should not do this. So when living entity suffers in this material world because of his misuse of independence, then finally when he's fully frustrated, he will say, no, this material world is full of miseries. I should try to get out of this place.
ये थैंक यू प्रभु जी, अभी आपने बड़ा अच्छा एक्सप्लेन कर दिया कि वो जो इंडिपेंडेंस का मिसयूज होता है, दैट इज द वन व्हिच
and that independence is called as free will.
Free will.
Free will. Everybody has free will. So living entity is also energy of Krishna, and that energy is called as Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha means marginal energy. Please note these down, the other will forget. Marginal energy or Tatastha. Tat का अर्थ क्या होता है? What is Tat? Dharmen Prabhu, what is Tat?
किनारा.
किनारा. तो समुद्र का किनारा होता है ना, तो हम लोग वहां खड़े हैं, ठीक है, ऑन द तट, किनारे पे खड़े हैं. I have now independence to enter into water or enter into land. Correct? I have two choices. So my independence standing on the edge of the sea is to either enter into water or enter a step, into land. Correct? That is my independence. Similarly, we are standing on the edge, have a choice to remain in this material world and enjoy materially, or serve Krishna and go to spiritual world and enjoy eternally. Choice we have to make. That's why we call Tatastha, marginal potency of Krishna. We have a choice to make. B, C, D. Correct? B stands for birth. D stands for death. Birth is fixed. Death is fixed. You can't do anything. But between B and D, there is an alphabet which is C, which means choice. So during the life, we have to make the choice. While beginning point and end point both are fixed, we can't do anything. We can't choose our parents. We can't decide which place to take birth. We can't decide which body to take birth. That is already fixed based on our karmas. But we still have a choice. C. To take shelter of Maya or to take shelter of Krishna. Krishna or his energy called Maya. Like I have a shelter as an Indian, I have a choice to take shelter of the government and follow all his instructions, or take shelter of energy of the government, the prison house, jailer, and follow his instructions. Correct? So the prison house or jail is an energy of the whole government. Correct? Either I follow government and remain free, happy outside, roam around freely. If I don't follow government, I have to follow energy of the government, which is called whatever, judiciary or prison house or jail. Makes sense? Similarly, Krishna is the government, super government. Either you follow him, you serve him. If you make a choice not to follow, you want to enjoy like Krishna, not serve Krishna, then you go and serve Maya, the external energy of Krishna, whose job is to basically इधर से दिया उधर से दिया खूब मारती है, and till the time that living entity says no, enough, I'll serve Krishna now, enough of miserable life in this material world, now I'll take shelter of Krishna. Okay? Krishna says, he says what? देवी ही एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्तया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते माया मिताम तरन्ति. Very nice verse. He says देवी ही एषी गुणमयी. This energy of three modes, tamaguna, rajoguna, sattoguna, देवी एषी गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्तया, मेरी माया है. दुरत्तया means बहुत मारने वाली. दुरत्या मीन्स वेरी डेंजरस. दुरत्या का अर्थ समझते हैं आप? दुरत्या नाम से पता लगता है कुछ खतरनाक ही. मम माया दुरत्या, मेरी माया वेरी डेंजरस. बट मामेव यो प्रपद्यन्ते, one who takes shelter of me, mayam etam tarantite, he can conquer maya very easily. So one who takes shelter of the government, super government, he can conquer maya very easily. He can conquer material allurements very easily. He can conquer material attachments very easily. Material attractions very easily. All these are maya, which attract our senses and keep us busy in material sense gratification. But one who has taken shelter of Krishna, he can conquer maya very easily. He will not be attracted by allurements of maya very easily. समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं माता जी?
और चीज मैंने कनेक्ट की आपकी इस बात से, मैं वही सोच रही थी कि भगवान हितैषी हैं. हम जब कुछ अच्छा सोचते हैं तो हमको अच्छा देते हैं उसका फल, और जब हम बुरा सोचते हैं तो उससे करने से रोक देते हैं. फिर भी हम जबरदस्ती करें तो पनिश कर देते हैं. तो ये दिस मेक सेंस.
देखो, कभी भी हम गलत काम करें, हमको लगता है अंदर से आवाज आती है नहीं करना. आती कि नहीं? दैट इज परमात्मा's वॉइस.
वही इसके नहीं करना है ये.
अलर्ट, डोंट डू इट, इट इज रॉन्ग. पर फिर भी कर देते हैं. ठीक है भाई, भुगतो.
तो वो पनिशमेंट मिल जाता है फिर.
जैसे बच्चा बोलता है मैं जा रहा हूँ पापा, पब जा रहा हूँ दोस्तों के साथ. पापा बोलते हैं पीना नहीं है, सुनता नहीं है. अब क्या कर लेंगे पापा? पापा जहाँ साथ में जाएंगे नहीं. ओके, भुगतो. अनुमंता. So he says, okay, I allow you, but at your own risk. You do it at your own risk. That is Paramatma. So Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. Please contemplate on this after the class, otherwise you'll forget it. Write it down on a piece of paper, whatever you understood. What is Brahman? What is Paramatma? This is basic understanding. A lot of people outside are confused only on this. भगवान निराकार है कि साकार है, निराकार है, इसी में झगड़ा करते रहते हैं. कोई कहता है निराकार है, कोई कहता है मूर्ति पूजा वाले मार देना चाहिए, उनको छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए. ऐसे लोग भी हैं. Go and kill all people who worship deities. You know? So there's a lot of confusion outside on this aspect of religion or spirituality. No clarity. So Prabhupada has provided clarity right in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Brahman, Paramatma, and जो अष्टांग योगी होते हैं, ध्यान लगाते हैं, they focus on Paramatma. And जो deity worship करते हैं, भोग लगाते हैं, नाम लेते हैं, गीता भागवतम पढ़ते हैं, they worship Bhagwan, feature of Krishna, Krishna himself. So they are, Prabhupada said, they are the highest transcendentalists. Because they have understood Bhagwan, they have understood Paramatma, they have understood Brahman, all three. They have full understanding, no scope for confusion.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Dipesh Prabhu.
thank you. What I was wondering is that are there any special characteristics of these kind of people which will help us to identify who are in each of these three categories? Like in terms of behavior, in terms of how they look at things or the actions that they do.
So people who follow Ashtanga Yoga, they normally go to secluded places. हिमालय जाना है, कहीं अलग जाके बैठ के ध्यान लगाते हैं. They are normally transcendentalists who are meditating on Paramatma feature. ठीक है? So the prime requisite for one to follow Ashtanga Yoga is one, he has to go to a secluded place. He can't do it in the midst of city. So और जो योगा करते हैं गार्डन के अंदर बैठ के, that is not yoga. That is only one limb of Ashtanga Yoga, which is called asana. That is not yoga. Second, one is supposed to abstain from sex completely, one who is following yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. So they're very strict requirements. And meditation is not the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga. Very difficult to do it. Right? The first one is Nirakar. Most people, they believe in something, but they don't attribute any form to that belief. So they remain confused. They have nobody to focus on. किस पे ध्यान लगाएंगे? किसकी पूजा करेंगे? निराकार में किसकी पूजा कर सकते हैं? वो कुछ नहीं कर सकते. And third is devotees who will worship deities, who will have deities at home, will go to temple, will offer bhoga to deities and then honor prasadam. Right? They're called Vaishnavas, right? Who worship Krishna directly. So they treat deities as God himself. That's why they feed him. That's why they dress him. They bathe him. They think name and Krishna are non-different. So they chant the holy name. Right? So they are called devotees or Vaishnavas. Make sense, Dipesh Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. So I'm just thinking here, and again, sorry about these questions. They say that इंसान पत्थर में भी भगवान खोज लेता है. जब उसको जो विश्वास, sorry, 1 second, जो विश्वास रखता है वो उसको पत्थर में भी भगवान दिख जाते हैं. ठीक है, तो वो लोग इसमें हुए जो बोलते हैं कि भगवान निराकार है, या वो हुए कि जो प्रॉपर्टीज है.
See, in the category of devotees, the highest realization is that you're able to see Krishna everywhere. Because Krishna is present in the form of his energy everywhere. Okay? But that is a very high quality vision. To see Krishna in everybody as Paramatma, to see Krishna in everything as, in every atom in the form of Krishna's energy. Right? Now, given that we don't have that vision at this point in time, we don't have that vision. We can't see Krishna in. That's why we envy people. We, we abuse people. We don't see Paramatma in them. That's why we abuse or envy. So till that time, we have to worship deities as Bhagavan. Krishna appears in the form of deity to accept our service. Correct? If there's no deity, who will you serve and get purified? So Krishna descends in the form of his deity to accept our service. And when we engage our senses in service of Krishna, senses get purified. And gradually when we get purified, then we can see Krishna everywhere in the form of his energy. Like we'll read later in, I think, 7th chapter, Krishna will say, I am the taste of water. So when you drink Krishna, you remember Krishna. Krishna will say, sun and moon are my eyes. So when you see sun, you remember Krishna. Correct? अभी तो पानी पी जाते हैं, हम सोचते नहीं हैं, but just remember Who gives satisfaction of, quenching our thirst is Krishna. Krishna says, I am the fire in your belly who digests your food. Who is digesting my food? As fire, it is Krishna only. So practically, it is Krishna everywhere. But we have not developed the vision. That's why Krishna comes as a deity to accept our service, so that we can focus on one form. Right? Now, one who is saying, कण कण में भगवान है, वो निराकार भी हो सकता है, प्योर डिवोटी भी हो सकता है ना? So we have to see from which perspective he is saying this sentence. दोनों correct हैं. कण कण में भगवान is a vision developed by a pure devotee. कण कण में भगवान ये भी हो सकता है कि कोई निराकारी बोल रहा है, लेकिन वो किस फिलॉसफी को बैकग्राउंड में रख के बोल रहा है वो समझना पड़ेगा to conclude whether he is a devotee or निराकारी.
Okay.
ठीक है?
सही बात. This makes sense.
जैसे प्रहलाद महाराज को पूछा हिरण्यकशिपु ने, इस खंबे में भगवान है क्या? बोला है. He could see, he is exalted devotee, and then Narasimha Bhagwan appeared from that khamba, from that pillar. He appeared, na? Prahlad was able to see. We can't see. I can't see Krishna in my wall because I don't have that vision like Prahlad had. So when we are purified by serving Krishna, then we develop that vision. But that is a very exalted position. Till that time, we have to chant the holy name, we have to follow rules, regulations, we have to serve the deities, and gradually when our senses, when our eyes, ears, nostrils, tongue, body purified, then we develop vision to see Krishna in the form of energy everywhere. Everywhere. In an ant also you will see Krishna, then you will be very careful even touching the ant. Oh, there is Paramatma in the ant also. How can I cause any harm to this ant? So in developed vision, it means we are making progress. To अभी चलते हैं ऐसे, जितनी ant हमारे नीचे आ जाए कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. झाड़ू ऐसे लगाते हैं, इकट्ठे उड़ा दो सबको. Mass murder. We don't think about all these things. मच्छर को ऐसे मार देते हैं, है ना? Actually, we are killing living entities in every attempt of our day-to-day life. We don't have vision, but at least we will be careful of not causing any harm to them when we have developed the vision. I had told you about the story of Mrigari. सुनाई थी मैंने आपको कथा मृगारी की. Did I tell the story or no? Yes?
No.
नहीं प्रभु.
No.
नहीं प्रभु जी.
So Mrigari was a hunter who used to kill animals half and enjoy. He was a hunter. So tradition was, don't kill the animal fully. Just break his leg. And जब वो तड़पेगा उसको देख देख के उसको आनंद मिलता था. He used to enjoy. And then Narad Muni once was going through the jungle. He saw so many animals, literally in bad condition, suffering. And he went to Mrigari and said, Mrigari, what are you doing? Why don't you kill them in full? No, I enjoy it when I see them suffering. So he said, if you kill them in full, तो उसमें ध्यान सुनिए सब, very important. उसमें पाप कम लगेगा. It will be relatively less sinful if you kill them full immediately, not allow them to suffer. Then Mrigari said, if it is sinful, what will happen to all the sins I have committed so far? What do I do? So he accepted Narad Muni as his guru and asked him, what do I do now? So Narad Muni said, you first break your bow and arrow. अभी तोड़ दो इसको. वो तोड़ दूंगा तो मैं खाऊंगा कैसे, परिवार कैसे चलाऊंगा? वो तोड़ देना, भगवान व्यवस्था करेंगे. You break this bow and arrow and throw it and give all your donation, all your money you have earned through these, merciless hunting process, you donate to other people. You take this Japmala, sit near the bank of a river in front of Tulsi Maharani and simply chant. So Mrigari and his wife donated everything, went to bank of a river, put Tulsi Gamla and started chanting. When he started chanting, the villagers got to know that Mrigari has become a saint. Mrigari, who was a merciless hunter, has become a saint. He's chanting the holy name. He has donated everything. So everyone is very curious to see him. And then when they were going, they carried some vegetables, they carried some grains, some fruit, some milk, whatever they had in their house. They carried something for Mrigari as a gift. आप किसी घर जाते हैं कुछ लेके जाते हैं ना normally. So they all carried some stuff. जो भी उनके खेत में उगता था, गाय से तो दूध लेके गए वगैरह. So like this, Mrigari got everything. And after 6 months, when Mrigari was chanting, he saw his guru coming, Narad Muni, from a distance. And he ran to meet him. Narad Muni also had his friend Angira Muni, both were coming. And Mrigari is running. While running, he is jumping here and there. He is jumping here and there. And when he went close to Narad Muni, he first cleansed the soil, moved, something aside, and then he paid Dandavat. He paid obeisances. And Narad Muni asked, hey, why are you jumping here and there? What were you cleaning before paying obeisances? He said there were many ants on the floor, on the ground. I wanted to clear them aside before I pay obeisances. Otherwise, they would have died. The same hunter who used to enjoy killing half and seeing them suffering. Same hunter, his heart got transformed after chanting that he is not ready to cause harm to even an ant. This is his developed, transformed vision. So when our heart is purified, our eyes are purified, we will see Krishna's presence in every living entity. In dog, in, what do you call, elephant, in ant, everywhere. Even mosquito. That you will not want to cause harm unnecessarily to these living entities. That is the vision of great devotees. My spiritual master, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he was in bathroom first, and he started shouting from the bathroom, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. The devotees outside were wondering what is happening inside. Why is chanting so loudly? They knocked the door. They said, Guru Maharaj, kya hua? What happened? He said, one cockroach is about to leave his body. I am just chanting holy name for him, so that while leaving the body, he is able to remember Krishna. See? In the bathroom, one cockroach is leaving his body and he is chanting. Because Bhagavad Gita says, if somebody remembers Krishna while leaving his body, he will go back to Krishna. He is trying to make cockroach remember Krishna. But there is a soul inside cockroach also. This is the kind of vision the devotee develops after his heart is purified by chanting process. Yeah, so Krishna is present everywhere, but we can't see because of contaminated vision. We have a cataract problem. It has to be, cured through chanting process, through different devotional activities. Then we will be able to see Krishna everywhere. And when you see Krishna in everyone as Paramatma, naturally your envy, your hatred goes away automatically. You develop love for every living entity. Why? You see Krishna everyone. Doesn't matter whether he is Pakistani or Bangladeshi or American or European, but you see Krishna in everyone. You don't see, bodies externally. Or this Hindu, Muslim, Jhagada, these are all nonsense. They don't understand the principle at all. Simply fighting for body. They have no idea, they have no vision of who is Krishna, who is Atma, who is Paramatma. They have no idea whatsoever. Simply fighting for details. The one who has understood this principle, he will never fight with anyone. So all these fights between religions is, just because of lack of understanding of the principles of Dharma. Yes, Mahajan Prabhu. अनम्यूट कीजिए।
प्रभु जी आपने जो बताया
आपका वो आ रहा है प्रभु जी, सम
एक
इको इज कमिंग। आपके 2 मोबाइल ऑन है।
was not working and so I
Yes,
use
yes,
the
sure.
phone. सवाल आपसे ही पूछ रहा हूँ जी, थोड़ा मैं कंफ्यूज इसलिए हो गया हूँ। हम अभी तक इस लेक्चर से पहले परमात्मा और भगवान एक मानते थे। हमें तो यही अभी तक नॉलेज है कि परमात्मा और भगवान एक ही हैं। आज आपने दोनों को डिस्टिंग्विश कर दिया। आपने कहा परमात्मा एक अंश है जो हर एक आदमी के अंदर है और वो भगवान का अंश है या हरे कृष्णा का अंश है।
यस,
तो दैट मीन्स भगवान के जितनी पॉपुलेशन बढ़ रही है उतने अंश हो रहे हैं और वो हर बॉडी में जा रहा है, राइट? और
व्हाट इज योर क्वेश्चन?
माय क्वेश्चन इज, ये जो आपने कहा कि हिंदू मुस्लिम झगड़े होते हैं, ये बॉडी टू बॉडी झगड़े हैं, इनको बंद कैसे किया जाए? इनको लोगों को कैसे सिखाया जाए कि दिस ऑल बॉडी फाइट्स एंड इट इज टेकिंग यू नोवेयर? तो इसको अगर भगवान या परमात्मा हर के अंदर है, उस परमात्मा को हम प्रैक्टिकली कैसे जगाएं ताकि ये झगड़े बंद हो जाएं?
प्रभु जी हमको भगवद गीता पढ़ानी पड़ेगी सबको।
नहीं, पर कैसे जो लोग इन्वॉल्व हैं ऐसे क्राइम करने में, हर रोज टेररिस्ट जो है बड़े पैदा होते हैं और वो प्रोपेगेट करते हैं फाइट्स और किलिंग, उनको हम कैसे सिखा सकते हैं भगवद गीता?
अब जैसे पाकिस्तान में भी इस्कॉन ने टेंपल खोल दिए हैं, आपकी जानकारी के लिए।
सॉरी,
पाकिस्तान में भी देयर इस्कॉन टेंपल्स नाउ।
बहुत अच्छी बात है। मेरी तो प्रार्थना यही रहती है कि हाउ टू रीच पीपल टू
अगेन आई सेड it will be a gradual process, but the solution is only this. There is no other solution unless we are able to give them this vision. All these fights will never stop.
There are two areas which are most troublesome. One area is that the terrorists are increasing and causing more crime, killing every day. Second is degradation of society. जो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन 21st सेंचुरी जनरेशन है, उनको ना तो ज्ञान है और ना ही उनको सीखने की इच्छा है। तो जैसे आपने कहा वो पब्स में जाते हैं, क्राइम करते हैं, सेक्स करते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं। सो विच इज़ ऑल डिग्रेडेशन ऑफ द सोसाइटी। इन दोनों एरिया में प्रैक्टिकली कैसे, देखिए जैसे आपने कहा ये प्रोसेस स्लो प्रोसेस है। आपने हमें सिखाया, हम किसी और को सिखाएंगे, इट माइट टेक 30, 40, 50 ईयर, 100 ईयर्स, 200 ईयर, पता नहीं। तो तब तक क्या ये दुनिया सफर करती रहेगी और ये टेररिस्ट बढ़ते रहेंगे, ये क्राइम बढ़ता रहेगा?
यस, अभी तो कलयुग शुरू हुआ है प्रभु जी। कलयुग इज 4,30,000 years. Only 50,000 years have gone. So we are yet to see what is Kali Yuga.
So which means the
we have just seen trailer of Kali Yuga.
So peak is going to come, whether it's 100 years, 200 years, we don't know.
Things will get even worse. But in Kali Yuga, first 10,000 years are called golden years. In
My
which
God.
golden years, Swarna
Yes,
Yuga, in which there is a possibility of getting devotees, possibility of somebody teaching us Gita, Bhagavatam, possibly somebody teaching us how to chant the holy name. After 10,000 years, it will be all extremely difficult. Yeah. So we are fortunate that we are born in the first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga. So that's why you're able to discuss about Bhagavad Gita, able to chant the holy name. Very, very fortunate.
We might come back again.
Sorry?
But I don't know. We might come back again.
That's why if you come back after 10,000 years, it's dangerous. So chant the holy name now nicely and go out in this life itself. Don't take a chance once again. That's why if at all there is any urgency in somebody's life, is to embrace Krishna consciousness and get lost from here forever. That is the highest form of emergency.
आपने तो छोटी उम्र में कर लिया।
छोटी उम्र में देखो मेरे बाल बहुत लेट आया मैं।
You're 14, you did it. चलिए ठीक है जी, बहुत आज बहुत ज्ञान मिला है और बड़ी डेप्थ में गए हैं आप,
बहुत गूढ़ ज्ञान है
बहुत गूढ़
आजकल।
ज्ञान है, वरना तो हम परमात्मा को और भगवान को एक ही मानते हैं।
वो एक ही
मानते
हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि दो अलग अलग हैं। परमात्मा भगवान का अंश है। परमात्मा क्या है? एक्चुअली विष्णु फॉर्म में है, 400 फॉर्म में। परमात्मा इज द फॉर्म ऑफ विष्णु, 400 विष्णु, एंड कृष्णा भगवान इज 200 कृष्णा. Bhagavan has some features or qualities which Paramatma does not have. That's why we say Paramatma is in a part and parcel, but not a part and parcel, plenary expansion of Krishna. Expansion of Krishna.
मैं तो ये चाहता हूँ कि जो परमात्मा हर आदमी के अंदर है वो ज्यादा कंट्रोल ले ले ताकि क्राइम कम हो। इतनी जो लिबर्टी दे रखी है वो लिबर्टी कम हो जाए।
आप मुझे बताओ, कोई बच्चा रिबेलियस है, उसको आप कंट्रोल करने का प्रयास करोगे तो क्या होगा?
डिजास्टर।
भाई वही होगा। That's why Krishna doesn't exercise excessive control.
आपने जो एग्जांपल दिया है बहुत सारे
Krishna
घरों में हो रहा
wants
है।
us to learn ourselves. कहते हैं जो एक दूध का जला छाछ को भी फूक फूक पीता है। The once somebody has suffered in this material world, no, once he goes back, he will never want to come back again. कान पकड़ लेगा, अभी नहीं जाना है।
जो आपने एग्जांपल दिया है कि बच्चों को जहाँ आप कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करते हो और डिजास्टर होता है, वो हो रहा है फैमिलीज में।
हाँ।
वही हो रहा है। गुड, थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
Thank you.
थैंक यू।
Any other last comment or question? Then we close.
ये जो प्रोग्रेस है ये फ्रॉम ब्राह्मण टू भगवान है या फ्रॉम भगवान टू ब्राह्मण है, और बोथ वेज है। माने ये प्रोग्रेशन हमारा यहाँ से यहाँ की तरफ है, माने ब्राह्मण से भगवान की तरफ है या भगवान से ब्राह्मण की तरफ है या दोनों तरफ।
So if you go via Brahman, then you will get stuck. क्योंकि जब when you see this all pervasiveness as the supreme truth, then you can't believe that how can this unlimited be put into a deity limited murti. You can't accept murti, very difficult. When you think that the supreme truth is all pervasive, unlimited, then you find it extremely difficult to believe that how can this murti be the supreme lord, how can this unlimited be put into something limited. It becomes extremely difficult. But if you go straight to Bhagavan, then you understand all the truths perfectly. So we are very fortunate that our journey is starting right from Bhagavan. ठीक है?
थैंक यू।
जैसे जब सूरज की रोशनी आती है सुबह 11-12 बजे, and we look at the sun, due to the light you can't see the sun, you become blind. Similarly, people who are nirakari, they become blind because of effulgence. They can't see the form behind the light. Eyes are dazzled. Very difficult to believe. Okay. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai or ki jai. Thank you very much.
Thank you Prabhuji.
I hope everybody is chanting nicely according to the standard we put. Please follow the standard. Hare Krishna.